Right, here is the Fenland on Film 2020 DVD and Blu-ray. So I'll just show you the DVD cover, if I can avoid the light shining on it. There we go. That's the front cover, that's the spine, and that's the back cover. So we put a lot of time and thought into making this look as nice as possible. I'll show you the Blu-ray, much the same, only slightly smaller in its proportion. That's the spine, and that's the back cover. And hopefully you'll agree these will look right at home amongst your other DVDs and Blu-rays. And I'll show you the disc as well. So this is my personal copy. You can see a printout of one of the frames of film I shot, so that's my dog. But, anyway, without further ado, let's take this out of here and pop that into play, and we'll show you what's on the disc. And the first thing you'll see is our intro video, which is about 10 seconds. Depending on your player, it may autoplay or you may have to select play, but that's the first thing you'll see anyway. And that takes us to the main menu. So we've got a couple of main options there. Super 8 films on the left, and on the right hand side, bonus features. So we'll look at Super 8 films first, we'll go into that. We can either play all, go to film selection, so you can pick one if you want to watch any particular one. The return button is the one in the middle just there, and we've got setup. I will show you setup very quickly. Various options in there, so audio selection on the left, subtitle selection on the right. On the left we can play the original soundtrack, the music track only, which applies to the Frost Art film, or we can play my filmmaker commentary. As for subtitles, they're off by default. Actually, I should have said the original soundtrack plays by default as well. We have on there the English subtitles for the Frost Art film. That's for Jane's commentary. And then the option below that is subtitles again, but for my commentary. So you can mix and match as you see fit. So if you want to select anything, it will auto update. So let's say, for example, I wanted the filmmaker commentary, and you can see that grey box has now dropped down to indicate that that's the selected option. Let me just restore that, so I'll reinstate the original soundtrack and go to the back button or the return button. So on this menu again, like I said, you have the option to play all, or you can go to the right hand side and go to film selection, and you can pick any one of the 7 films that are here. So let's just go through those quickly, like so. So we'll come out of there, we'll go to play all. A couple of the films on here are slightly extended, so you'll get a bit more than what is available on the YouTube channel. As you'd expect, you can skip through. And I'll show you also, if I skip a couple more films. So this is the Frost Art film, and it'll play Jane's commentary.
I live and work as an artist at the edge of a Cambridge.
And that plays by default. On your remote, you probably won't be able to see that very well, but if you can push a button on your remote, most of them have it these days. So I'm going to press the audio button, and it changes the audio track right there and then to the alternative music only track that we have on there, and I can push the same button again,
especially during lockdown.
and it brings up my commentary track. Let me just put that back to the default again.
My allotment is also on the edge of town.
Subtitles, again, you can push a button on the remote and up they pop.
This year the allotment has been a good place to greet neighbours, to see life from the natural world thrive. I planted willow on mine 20 years ago with a plan to make sculpture and basket.
Let's turn those off again.
I maintain the tradition of
So I said there's 7 films on here, but that comes from 5 reels that we shot, so it's about 16 minutes, which I appreciate isn't much, but these are quite expensive to make, so we're hoping from the proceeds of these sales we'll be able to make more films, and next year's Blu-ray, or well, the 2021 content on next year's Blu-ray will be a lot more. Fingers crossed anyway. So let's go back to the main menu from, oh actually no, sorry, I pushed the wrong button, but it's just as well I did. This is the pop-up menu I referenced earlier. So in screen, and you can select a different film if you wish without having to go back to the main menu. It's quite a nice little feature of that. It makes it nice and easy accessible. Right, I do now want to go to the main menu, so there we are. So that was Super 8 films we just looked at. We'll now look at bonus features. Similar to before, we've got play all or chapter selection on the right. There is a subtitle option on on one of them, so we've added that in there as well. We'll go into chapter selection, and we've got various things in here. So obviously I don't need to go through everything in any detail, not really, but it's fairly self-explanatory from what you can see there. So there's various bits of bits of video that we've done throughout the year. This I quite like. I didn't know whether or not to include it or not, but there was free space on the disc, and it gives you something that's not available elsewhere. So we've put on here the raw film scans. So they'll play without sound. And this option here displays exactly what we received once the film was scanned. And we've added chapters in as well, so if you want to skip forward and back or whatever, you can. Might interest some of you to see it like this. The other sort of unintended bonus feature of this is you can pause at any time. Now this was shot at 18 frames per second, and it's been rendered because obviously Blu-ray or DVD, neither of those formats support that frame rate. With the Blu-ray specifically, it's encoded at 24 frames a second, so there's every so often there will be a duplicated frame, but on the whole you can skip through. So at the moment I've paused to that, and if I hit the fast forward button just the once, and if I keep pressing it, you will see it's advancing frame by frame. So I think you'll get, what was that, 1, 2, 3. So we've got 3 unique frames, 1 duplicated frame, and then another, so another 3. But you can do that at any point. So if you want to look at any particular part, let's skip this one for example, let's go to the start of the Christmas special that we did. So you won't have seen that in the edit. We took that out because it looked a little sort of washed out. You can't really see the detail there. But if I restart that, so that's the very start of that reel, and I'm going backwards at the moment, frame by frame, and you can see all this lovely film colour. Not a lot to see there because it's whited out, of course. But these are details that you might miss when running the film through at normal speed. And you can advance in slow motion as well. So if I pause that again, and if you hold down the fast forward button in this mode, you'll see it's maybe not so well on this part. It's advancing very slowly, I think about half speed. And it's replicating faithfully frame by frame, so there's no blurred frames there or anything. Anyway, we've lingered on that for a bit too long, I think, so let's come out of that. I should say the pop-up menu again features here. So we've given you the raw scans, and we've also given you the unedited colour graded scans. This differs from the edits because, like I said, they are unedited, so there'll be bits in here that we rejected because the quality wasn't particularly good, it was out of focus, or it was too brief. But they are restored in this version. If I go to the pop-up menu again, and the next option, if it interests you, will be a comparison side by side. So you can see the raw scan on the left. Obviously I didn't need to point that out, but there it is. And on the right hand side, the colour grading that was done for us. Very nicely done, I might add as well. If I come out of that again, I'll actually go back to the main menu this time. Back into the bonus features, chapter selection. It goes back to the last menu. So yeah, that is pretty much everything, to be honest. As I said before, the DVD will replicate that pretty faithfully. Obviously it won't be in high definition, and you won't get the pop-up menu. I have to say Blu-ray is the best way to own this if you are going to purchase it, and you have a Blu-ray player. You'll get high definition picture quality mastered from the 4K scans. So actually let me just go back very quickly and indicate to you. So I appreciate a lot of people are going to say, why would I pay for something that is on YouTube for free? The picture quality on this is better than YouTube, even though this is only 1080p and they're available on YouTube in 4K. The compression on this is far better. The YouTube versions will be compressed to about, I don't know, 6-8 megabytes per second. If I turn on the sort of analytical element of this player, it will show you here the bit rate. So we've tried to get that as close to or exceeding 40 megabytes per second, but we did have to fit it on the disc, so a small compromise had to be made. But the average is pretty good, 37, 35, 38, 40. So yeah, that is it. So I've waffled on a bit too long there, but that gives you an idea of what is on the disc and the time and the care that we've spent putting it together. So anyway, thank you for watching. Links will be in the description. At the moment they are only available on Etsy. We're working on getting them put on Amazon, but we have to physically have the discs before we can do that. Amazon won't allow us as a marketplace seller to have them on there as a pre-order. But we'll keep you updated as to sort of when and where these become available.